Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos and today on this current video I'm going to be giving you some latest transfer news regarding Jadon Sancho and Mario Mandzukic, and of course there's lots of other things to currently talk about. But the first topic of the development I will start with is Jadon Sancho. So recent reports have emerged out saying that Manchester United have bidded for Jadon Sancho. Man United, of course, are not the only team that are in for him. He's attracting interest from several other clubs, reportedly Liverpool, Real Madrid, and quite a few other teams have attracted their interest. But take into account, we've been long admirers of Jadon Sancho. We was in for him during the course in the summer. We also identified him as our number one priority target back in January, but our move got screwed for Jadon Sancho with our failure to qualify for the Champions League. If we are to go in for him in January, he will cost us in the excess of at least £100 million. Maybe we'll even have to pay more than £100 million. But Jadon Sancho has recently, quoted out that he wants to leave Borussia Dortmund. So whether he comes to Man United or not, either way, it's looking imminent. He's going to be leaving Dortmund, and it actually, could happen in January instead of next summer and that. But I think, Jadon Sancho, would be the right calibre player for Man United. I would be excited about the prospects of him, playing alongside the likes of Rashford, Daniel James and Anthony Martial, because I think, he will complement them fantastically well in our attacking line. And Jadon Sancho is a player that can create chances. He can also score goals. His runs on off the ball are very, very good. He's predominantly a right winger, by the way. Obviously, I think Man United need to get a right winger anyway, because that would be very beneficial. But he can also, play him centrally. He has been dropped in games this season for Dortmund, because I think at this present time he's not satisfied at Borussia Dortmund. So this is one of the main factor reasons why he probably does want to leave. I think also City have showed their interest. Don't forget he's a former Manchester City player. He did have a good couple of years with Man City, did Jadon Sancho, but obviously never got assured first team opportunities. So this is the main factor reason why I left Manchester City to join Borussia Dortmund. But Borussia Dortmund got him for next to no. They only paid around £7 or £8 million to him. But obviously analysing his performances in the couple of years he has been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. But he has been revelation in Germany, since his arrival from Man City back in 2017. He's still under contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. And he's only the age of 19, and Solskjaer did confirm that he's still keen on wanting to recruit young players, like he did do during the course of the summer. But analysing it anywhere, we have got a lot of young players in our squad, but I'm very sceptical anywhere that Solskjaer will be at Man United in January. But like I did say, analysing it, our recruitment has got to improve, because our recruitment has been very poor for several years. So I just wanted to take that into account and that. And recently, Gary Neville had his overarching view on things, and he said if Solskjaer obviously is still to be here by January, then he's got to be ruthless in the January transfer market and that. And it's very imperative next year that we do get the right calibre players to Manchester United, because I think we need at least 5 to 6 more signings, maybe even more, if we are to be back to being a competitive elite level football club, and if we are to be our future title contenders in that. And reportedly we're going to get around £200 million next year to spend. I don't know if that's enough for us to address the deficiencies in the squad. I don't know if it is enough for us, to bring the right number of players that we want in. It's basically just dependent on, how we are with our recruitment. We're going to be sensible with it, or, we're going to overpay for players, like we have done in recent years, especially, overall anyway, a lot of money has been invested into the football club in the last 6 or 7 years in all the managerial areas. So just wanted to take that into account and that. But there's a lot of players on our agenda anyway who we could go in for next year. Jadon Sancho is one of our main priority targets. I want to give you the news as well now regarding Erling Haaland. Obviously, Man United are interested in him. According to recent reports, I will update you with Mario Mandzukic after, but according to recent reports regarding Erling Haaland, he has been scouted by 11 clubs as Erling Haaland and that. So there's been several clubs obviously now interested in him. He has been a revelation this season for Red Bull Salzburg. I think it's very, very imminent that we are going to go in for Erling Haaland in January. Obviously, Erling Haaland and Jadon Sancho, both of them coming to Manchester United, would probably cost us in the excess of around £200 million. But Erling Haaland has scored 27 goals in all competitions this season, in 19 games, that is. So he's done really, really well. I think he scored like 8 goals in the Champions League. But I think the beneficial thing about us recommending Erling Haaland in is that obviously he's played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's guidance during his period with Mould, and I think Solskjaer is keen on a reunion with the player. But he is again only the age of 19. He is obviously predominantly a striker, and I did say, Man United do need a couple of attackers in. We need an adequate replacement for Lukaku and Sanchez, because you can say, we've looked very exposed in that attacking line, due to their departures. Even though recently, we've seen to look better in the attacking third of the pitch, like I put into the equation, since Martial came back from injury. He's added more inspiration in that attacking third of the pitch. Like I said, Daniel James has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. Rashford, like I said, in the last 8 or 9 games at least, has rejuvenated himself. But I still put into the equation that we still need to strengthen up in that attacking line. We need a prolific goal scorer. We need someone who can be more effective in the box. And perhaps players like Erling Haaland and Jadon Sancho, they would be very, very reliable to do all this. So I think, them two definitely would be the right calibre players for the football club. But there's been a few teams, like I said, anywhere that have been in here for Erling Haaland. Don't forget, more speculation fueled up, was it, a couple of weeks ago, because his father, Al Finch, had actually visited Manchester United's training ground. But yeah, Erling Haaland is one of our main priority targets. He's actually our preference now over Mario Mandzukic, because it looks destined that Mario Mandzukic was going to join the football club in January, but now there has been a change of scenery on all of that, because reportedly now we have ended our interest in Mario Mandzukic. I think we've actually now we've got a lot of strong reservations about his fitness levels and that, and I think we've also got element of concerns regarding his age, because Mario Mandzukic is 33 years of age, so you can arguably say he's only got a couple of years left in his footballing career. But I did say it was very, very imminent. It was going to be our first signing in January, our 4th signing overall under the Solskjaer era and that. But that's looking like now it's not going to happen. I think actually now Dortmund are in for Mario Mandzukic. Mario Mandzukic is definitely leaving Juventus, I think. Obviously, since the recommendation of Maurizio Sarri, Mario Mandzukic has not played a single minute under his guidance and that. He's not played a single minute under his guidance, so this is why he's surplus to requirements. But he's been at Juventus like 4.5, years now, and I think I admire him because I think he's had a fantastic career. He scored 44 goals for Juventus in 162 games. I think it would have been beneficial to recommend him in even though he is 33, because he would have been a cheap solution. He only would have cost us like just over £10 million. But now Erling Haaland's obviously come into the equation. I think, we would rather recommend him in, obviously now over Mario Mandzukic, because obviously Erling Haaland is only 19 and Mario Mandzukic is 33. He is still under contract with Juventus until 2021 and that. So I'm very, according to what recent reports have said anyway, I'm very, very sceptical now that we are going to get Mario Mandzukic in and that. But yeah, these a lot of players on our agenda. So I've already said, the deficiencies in the squad. So I think, we need to address that midfield, because that's one of the priority areas where we need to strengthen up. I think we need an attacking midfielder. We also need a defensive midfielder. We definitely need to recruit a replacement for Ander Herrera. And we also, need at least one striker. And there's possibly other areas in the squad as well that do need to be addressed. But probably for 200 million quid anywhere, we could get get maybe around 3 or 4 players. You know, there was a prime example of that in the summer because we got 3 players for less than 200 million. You know, the Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire, they cost us nearly £150 million. And it's good that we did address, you know, some of the problematic areas during the summer. You know, we got that experienced centre half in, and we also got that right back in. But with next year, we've got to address all the deficiencies in the squad and that. Ed Woodward did recently assure Galactico signings at Manchester United, but I still want him out at the football club because, like I've mentioned on my recent videos, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. Like I said, I think we need a change of management. I think, you know, we need to change our board because our current board, you can't rely on them, and they've been a liability for several years. I think we also need to get rid of Ed Woodward, like I said. I still believe there's more players that do need to leave Manchester United. I think probably another 5 or maybe 6 more players need to leave next year. But yeah, and you know, a massive rebuild is needed at the football club and that because, you know, obviously the vast majority of Man United fans are demanding Solskjaer out, obviously reflecting on our disastrous start to the season, you know, but take into account, you know, he's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team because obviously, you know, analysing the vast majority of this team, it isn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. The vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's because Jose Mourinho did recommend 11 players into the football club. You know, there's only 3 players that are Solskjaer's, so some people will say, you know, we still need to give him at least a couple more transfer windows to see who else he can recommend in to the football club. But for me, I just don't think he's the right manager, you know, to lead Manchester United forward. And I hate to say that because, like I said, I admired Solskjaer as a player because he was a great player for us for 11 years. But I've just got to be honest with you, I just don't think he's got that managerial experience to the highest level. He hasn't really got it. He hasn't really got any intuition on how to manage a big football club like Man United. Of course, despite the fact that he knows the culture and that of the football club. And I want him to bring that winning mentality and the fear factor back to the club. But I'm just very, very sceptical about it now. Like I've said on my recent videos, I think, you know, the next 3 games are going to decide what's happening there with Solskjaer. So I think basically Solskjaer has got, you know, basically one week left to save his job at Manchester United because we play 3 games in the league within the space of 6 days. You know, Villa today, Tottenham next week, and then obviously, you know, Manchester City. So it's 3 games, you know, within the space of 6 days, basically. So games are coming up thick and fast. And I do believe we probably need to win at least 2 of them 3 games, or probably need to win all of them if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure is to be saved at the football club. You know, some people will believe us getting rid of Solskjaer, obviously, now wouldn't solve many problems at the football club because obviously due to the vast majority of our poor performances and poor results this season, you know, some of the blame does stem from him, but, you know, he's accountable for some of that, but obviously not all the blame stems from him. Obviously, you know, others, you know, have to take some responsibility in that. But like I said, for the vast majority of this season, Solskjaer's been tactically naive. Some of his substitutions have been questionable. And I just think this strappings of the club's too high for him, you know, the expectations are too high for him and that, but I hate to say this, but obviously, you know, on my videos I've got to be very, very honest, and if we do sack him, obviously we're going to have to pay a substantial amount to get rid of him. We probably won't have to pay as much, you know, as we did do, though, to get rid of Jose Mourinho. Don't forget, we have to pay something anyway, because Solskjaer is on a 3-year contract with the club. He had been given this 3-year contract when he had been given the job permanently back in March earlier on this year, and I can definitely assure for sure that he will not see out his 3-year contract to the club. I can probably almost assure he won't even be here by January. You know, Solskjaer's on $7.5 million a year as well, which is quite a bit of money. And he's been at the football club nearly a year now. He's lasted a year nearly. You know, he's obviously been permanent manager for nearly 9 months and that, but obviously for the vast majority of that 9 months, he has enjoyed a really difficult time in comparison to his time when he was the interim manager, because obviously my perceptions regarding Solskjaer then were obviously different, because I thought then he was the right manager to lead Man United forward. But I said to, we don't want to sack Solskjaer because, it's not good, and, we love him a lot, and, we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers and that, because, we've already sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously David Moyes got sacked after 10 months. He had the shortest tenure with the football club since the Ferguson era. Louis van Gaal got sacked after like a year, despite the fact he won the FA Cup, but his philosophy wasn't right for the club. Mourinho obviously got sacked after 2.5 years. He enjoyed the longest tenure with the football club since the Ferguson era. I already give the variety of reasons why it didn't work out under Jose Mourinho. But, we've had different managers with different philosophies and that, and don't forget, we are in transition. Solskjaer said before that, he's admitted, the club's transition is difficult and all that, and we could be in transition for quite some time until we can turn things around at the football club. But I just don't see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to put this club in the right direction, basically. Like I said, we was in a good run of form, before the Sheffield United game. We'd won 5 of our last 6 games in all competitions. In that 5-game period or so, I saw a variety of changes in that. We seem to be creating more chances. We seem to be, scoring more goals, and certain players have stepped up to the plate. But yeah, again, we're back to square one again. Didn't beat Sheffield United, dropped points, lost at Astana, midweek. So it's obviously, not looking good, and reflecting on us in the league, it's not good either. And Solskjaer did recently admit that our league form has got to improve, definitely, because we're not in the commanding position that we should be in. Reflecting on the size and the potential of this club, we was 9th, but I think reflecting on the regarding the results yesterday, maybe we've dropped lower down now. I haven't looked at the table, but we've only won 4 league games this season. I think we're not gonna win the league for ages. Are we gonna win it again? That is the question. But at least we're not gonna win it for ages. And I did say at the start of this season that I knew we wouldn't win the league this season. I expect us to enjoy a better season this season than what we saw last season. I did say this season our expectations, will be to finish in that top 4 and perhaps maybe win some silverware and that. We want Champions League football because, when you're not in Champions League football anywhere, it's going to be harder to attract players to the elite level and that. But I can definitely assure Solskjaer, will be the next manager to be sacked by Man United. He will be the 4th manager to be sacked if he is sacked, and all that. But he's definitely not going to last at the football club and that, and I do obviously here to say that and that. One thing I do credit him for, well, there's actually some aspects of me that do credit him. He's got a lot of trustworthy in his young upcoming players. Obviously, he didn't initially confirm at the start of this season anywhere that the young players would get given their chances. And he has given the young players their chances. And like I said, I think, some of the young players, will become a succession at the football club. So I can assure that the likes of Mason Greenwood, Brandon Williams and Tuan Zebe, James Garner, I think they'll all become successions at Manchester United, definitely. I've got obviously some element of concerns about some of the young upcoming players. But like I said, analysing it, we've got a lot of young players in the squad. But that's one thing I do credit Solskjaer for, giving the youngsters their opportunities. But when he initially got recommended in anywhere, Solskjaer, he did assure that anywhere that, that everybody, would get given their opportunities. But I credit him as well, for what he did in the game against FC Astana on Thursday, even though we did end up losing the game by 2 goals to 1. Obviously, Solskjaer, made a variety of changes against FC Astana. He made 11 changes, basically, so he made a hell of a lot of alterations in the squad, because obviously Solskjaer it was going to be interesting to see anyway how he approached that game, but he knew it was meaningless anyway because we're already into the knockout stages of the Europa League, and I think it's our only route to Champions League football for this for next season and that. So hopefully we can win the Europa League. We did it back in 2017 under Jose Mourinho, so hopefully we can do that. But, Solskjaer had given 7 debuts out midweek. He'd give Lee Grant his full debut. He's obviously our third choice goalkeeper. He also give, Ethan Laird his debut. He gave Dylan Levitt his debut. He given Dishon Burnett his debut. And, some others as well that came off the bench, obviously. Couldn't remember all the names. But he praised Dishon Burnett's performance, despite, his own goal despite his own goal. Prior to that, I think he did quite well. I think none of the youngsters stepped a foot wrong in the game against FC Astana and that. Solskjaer obviously praised Max Taylor, for, with how he's battled, cancer and now. Obviously he's survived cancer and stuff like that, Max Taylor, and obviously no individual, should obviously, go through that anywhere, but, he was obviously, part of the squad that went to Kazakhstan. Also, Nicky Butt, of course, went to Kazakhstan and that. And but our focus is on the game today against Aston Villa, and we are all aware of how much of a difficult game it is going to be, and that we're not far out till kick-off. It does kick off at 4:30 today. Like I said, Solskjaer is obviously going to make a variety of changes. The vast majority of our senior players are expected back. Like I said, the vast majority of them were rested against FC Astana. The only senior players that played against Astana was Luke Shaw. He played a full 90 minutes. That was his first game since the 2-1 defeat to Palace, which was the third game of the season. Tuan Zebe played. That was his first game since the game against Newcastle when we lost 1-0. Jesse Lingard played. He was injured earlier on in the season. He obviously scored our goal. Obviously captained the team against Astana, and Lee Grant, of course. So it was only 4 senior players that played. So there was around a lot of young players midweek. 14 of them, of course, were teenagers and that. Yeah. So we should win this game against Aston Villa anywhere. Like I give him my reaction, didn't I, to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference and that. He come out with quite a few interesting stuff during his press conference and that, and I reiterated some of the stuff and that he had said. Obviously, he'd provided us some news regarding Paul Pogba and McTominay. Obviously, we know that Paul Pogba's not going to be playing today against Villa. I think he could be back. It's not assured, but he could be back for the Tottenham game next week, which is very, very good news. So Pogba obviously, could be getting that reunion with Jose Mourinho, but obviously analysing it, Paul Pogba and Mourinho had a really, really bad relationship when Jose Mourinho was at Manchester United and that. Like I said, Paul Pogba has had an ongoing ankle injury that's been surrounding the player for a matter of weeks, should I say months. The last league game he did play was the 1-1 draw with Arsenal earlier on in the season. Don't forget, it confirmed a couple of weeks ago initially anywhere that Paul Pogba had travelled to Amsterdam to have his ankle cast removed. So that indicated now anyway was closer to recovering from injury, and he allegedly recent reports said that Paul Pogba was refusing to play for Solskjaer and Man United because he still wants to force the move away from Man United to Real Madrid. But he's still desperate to leave the football club anywhere. So he's got the same perception as what he had during the summer. He basically wants to leave the club. He revealed at the beginning of the summer that he still wants to leave the club. Paul Pogba basically said, he's seeking for a new challenge and basically wanted to leave Man United to rejuvenate his career and that. But I think he'll go to Real Madrid next year because for the entirety of the summer, he was heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid. I know there was also reports coming out coming out saying that, he could have made a return back to Turin because he did enjoy 4 good years in Turin with Juventus. But what he did at Juventus, he hasn't really replicated this at Manchester United. Let's be honest in that. Again, we overpaid for him. We paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, so he is our most expensive signing. He's also one of the highest paid players at the football club because he's on 290 grand a week. And he's still got 2 years left on his contract with an option to extend it by a further year. If he leaves next year, then obviously we'll generate a substantial amount for him. We'll definitely get, I should presume we'll get over 100 million for him. With that, if we do get rid of him and we do generate something around that, then we could get around 2 or 3 players, for, the funds we generate from his departure. But, that wouldn't be great business from the football club anyway, because we're just basically spending on what, we generated. But Solskjaer still knows how much an imperative player he is. And Solskjaer's obviously, he defended his professionalism, during the press conference as well. But he said he's stepping up his recovery, he's stepping up his recovery. He said, let's see how soon he will be match fit and available. But should be back for Tottenham. If he isn't back for Tottenham, then I presume he should be back for Man City. McTominay, he could be playing today. It's not assured. Solskjaer said, his press conference on Friday that he should be back for today, though. He's hopefully back for today. If not today, could be the Tottenham game, could be the Man City game, but we will see what happens. Solskjaer revealed, of course, that McTominay, went back home. Obviously, like I said, analysing McTominay this season, he's been very, very impressive. He has actually been a revelation this season for Man United and that. Don't know if it's a long-term solution for the club, but I think he's deserved to keep his place in the team this season, reflecting on his impressive performances. McTominay, initially sustained his ankle injury in the 3-0 win against Partizan Belgrade, but his injury reoccurred in the 3-1 win against Brighton just before the international break. He did say at the first that he was set to miss the games against City and Tottenham, but now obviously, it's all changed now, so maybe the injury is not as severe as we initially thought and that. But, could be back today. But the good news is players are coming back from injury. We know, I can assure who won't be playing today against Villa, and that's Eric Bailly, Fosu Mensah, Diego Dalot and Marcus Rojo, because obviously, they're all still injured. I think, obviously, Nemanja Matic has been out with a minor problem. Shaw, I think, and Tuanzebe are starting today. I think Solskjaer's also confirmed that. So it's good to see Luke Shaw making his Premier League return. It's good to see Tuanzebe also making his Premier League return. Him making his Premier League return. I'd probably play Brandon Williams at left back because, I think Brandon Williams has done really, really well. Like I said, Solskjaer praised him during the press conference and that. He scored his first senior goal last week for Man United against Sheffield United, took his goal really, really well. But I think Solskjaer sees him now as our first choice left back, so I think he's a better solution than Ashley Young is a better solution than Luke Shaw, despite the fact, that Luke Shaw is our first choice left back and that. But he is only at the age of 19. He has got a long-term contract that he signed not too long ago. He knows Ethan Laird well, as Solskjaer was saying, because, they played together up through the years. And maybe Ethan's obviously going to learn off Brandon and that, which is obviously, very, very good. But we have got a variety of fullbacks, that can compete, as Solskjaer was saying. But I'd probably start, Brandon Williams. He deserves to keep his place in the team, reflecting on his impressive performances and all that. But yeah, uh, this is the second newly promoted team. Like I said, we're facing in space of a week. Villa obviously came up this season and that. Solskjaer is aware of how good Villa can be. He said they've been unlucky in some parts of their games this season and that, but they can play well on the day. I think recently Villa's managers just signed a new contract and that. We've got a great record against Villa. Last meeting the last meeting against Villa at Old Trafford was 1-0. It was Rashford with the goal, the only goal of the game, and that was back in April 2016. But yeah, really, really looking forward to the game and that. But we've got to win it. If we lose today, or if we don't even win the game, even if we draw, could Man United sack Solskjaer after the game? You just never know. So we can't basically, afford to drop many more points in that, and that's just how it basically is, and all that, and can't afford to drop many more points, and that's just how it is. We've already lost, 4 games this season, and that. But yeah, like I said, there has, been some managers on our agenda, who could replace Solskjaer at the football club anywhere. I've just been reading recent reports about Mauricio Pochettino, by the way, and it said he's been warned by his friends to, ignore the Arsenal job because obviously, Arsenal are in for Mauricio Pochettino. I think it said the other week it got revealed that he's also been in talks, with Bayern Munich and that. Pochettino's managerless at the moment, but I don't think he will be managerless for long. Arsenal, of course, are looking for the manager. Obviously, they're sat to Emre. That got confirmed on Friday morning, I think it was. Obviously, he didn't exceed expectations at Arsenal, but they sacked him after just 18 months in charge of Arsenal. Arsenal, like I said, come out with a couple of reasons why they sacked him. It was due to the performances and results, not at the level as required. And it has confirmed his replacement is Freddie Ljungberg. So Arsenal have appointed Ljungberg in on a temporary basis, of course, until they get a permanent manager and that. So from an Arsenal perspective, they're obviously hopeful that Freddie Ljungberg can, elevate them forward. But yeah, they did sack Unai Emery. So obviously now they're in search for a manager and that. Obviously they've had quite a few managers on their agenda, not just Pochettino, Nuno Santo, Mikel Arteta has been spoken about. Vieira, Carlo Ancelotti, Massimiliano Allegri. So they've got so many managers on their agenda. But I'm sceptical anyway, that Pochettino will go to Arsenal. I don't see that happening. I think it's more imminent that he'll come to Manchester United and that. So I think Pochettino should wait for the sacking of Solskjaer, and I think then he should take the mantle on at Man United. But my own perception, I think he'd do a really, really good job there, would Mauricio Pochettino, if I'm, going to be quite honest. I think he would. He's good at developing young players. He's got that managerial experience. My only element of concern I've really got about Pochettino is that he hasn't won out in terms of silverware. But prior to that, good manager. I think his philosophy would be the right for the club. And I think Pochettino coming into Man United, I think he'd replicate Man United what he did do with Tottenham, because I thought he enjoyed 5 great years with Tottenham, to be quite honest with you. So I think, we should recommend him in. The good thing is as well, the beneficial thing is, should I say, that, we wouldn't have to pay out now to recommend him in anywhere. Because we've been long admirers of him. Obviously, at the time after the sacking of Jose Mourinho, we went in for Pochettino, and at that time we had to pay like 32 million in compensation to get him in. But obviously now we don't have to, which is also beneficial. But yeah, Pochettino would definitely do a better job than Solskjaer. but Tottenham sacked him, of course, the other week. So that just proves now how ruthless the boards are. Because back in the old generation, managers got the time that they would have liked, basically. But now it's not like that anymore. I am afraid. But yeah, I love Pochettino in. It was also a shame during the summer that we didn't get a new director of footballing, and that was also a big shame, because I did say that's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club, is getting a new director of footballing and that. We know Van der Sar's out of the equation now because he recently signed a contract extension with Ajax. But it's a shame that we didn't get a director of footballing anywhere. But yeah, so like I said, really I'm looking forward to the game today. Like I said, my match reaction probably will be coming up tonight and all that. And yeah, so join me for that. So on this video, like I said at the beginning, I just wanted to give you some latest transfer news regarding Sancho, Mario Mandzukic and Erling Haaland and all that. So we'll keep you up to date with the transfer news on a regular basis now. Obviously, it's not long now until the January transfer window opens. We're obviously now at the beginning of December. Obviously the window opens on the 1st of January, so it's exactly a month now until the window does open, and they always like the window anyway, But yeah, signings are needed in January. I think we'll probably try and make about 2 signings in January, but I think we'll do the vast majority of our transfer business next summer, if I'm going to be quite honest with you in that. I think as well today, should I say, maybe Fred will play, because I think Fred's, done well recently. He has seemed to rejuvenate himself. I don't know if it's a long-term solution for Man United, but I think there's some aspects of his game that needs to improve, but I think recently he has done well, and he has full Paul Pogba's position really well on that. So I just wanted to take that into account. So anyway, we'll be back on tonight with the match reaction for the game. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very soon.